So 3 reasons why I think it is very beneficial for you to write your book. Number 1, you want to share your story. You want to empower and educate someone that your story does not just lie within you. You know that it's something that someone can be encouraged from, okay? That's really a number 1 reason why you should consider writing your book. Number 2, if you have a business or a brand, let's just say, okay, you want to get the word out about a product you have, or you want to get the word out about your business. Writing a book is another way to get the word out about your book. So let's just say if you are an interior designer, then you can write a book based on designing your house, how to put the right pieces together. Or if you, hey, Shonda, how you doing? So if you want to really expand your brand, I encourage you to really think about writing that book. The number 3 reason of why you should write your book, because understand this, that no one, you want to leave a legacy, okay? Because at the end of the day, you don't want somebody else telling your story, do you? You don't want a narrator telling your story, because someone is not going to say what you want to say, okay? So I want you to think about these reasons. Number 1, you want to share your story because it is going to encourage someone. You know that your story does not lie just within your community or just within your 4 walls. You believe that, okay, something you went through in the past and where you are today, you're like, okay, this is something I really want to show somebody and help somebody know that I went through this, but you can overcome that. And that's one reason why I wanted to write and I wanted to share my stories, because I wanted to share what I overcame and where I am so that it can help someone else. Number 2, the reason why you should actually consider writing your book. You have a business. You have a brand that you're trying to gain more exposure. Writing a book is another way to show that you are an expert in your field. So it may not be a full lengthy book. I'm going to show you one of my books. It may not be a full lengthy book. This book is a total of, let's see, I think it's a total of 70, maybe 72 pages in this book. Maybe 72 pages in this book. And let's see. I don't think I have a Girl Who Lived Behind the Fence book right here at my disposal. And this book is actually, this book is at least 55 pages, and this is for kids, okay? So I want you to understand that you don't have to be like everyone else and write a chapter book. Most of us get discouraged to say, you know, I don't have enough material and I don't have the time. I just can't put together a book, not a 100-page book or what have you. And for me, I really had to seek God and ask him, hey, why can't I write a chapter book? Why can't I write a book with like 300 pages or what have you? And God showed me that my purpose and my call, who I'm trying to reach, will determine on how many pages you can write. Will determine how thick or how thin your book will. Because in today's society, let's just say your audience is young adults or teens. Okay, it's technology. People are really into technology. So they're not going to take the time to read a book that may be this thick. But this is my new book. So this is 370 pages. But the difference with this book is it's a quote every day. So it's not like you have to sit there and read through every day, you know, just trying to catch up on chapters. This is just something you apply once a day. So I want to encourage you to don't allow your reason for not writing your book. You don't have the time, because I'm a mom of 2. You make the time for what it is that's most important. You make the time to get on social media. You make the time to eat. You make the time to go to work. These are some things that we make time for. You make time for. Sometimes we make time for things that we should not make time for. So if your desire is to share your story because you're like, okay, I overcame this and I want to share it because someone else can benefit from this. Or you're saying that, hey, maybe I want to share my story. And the reason why I want to share my story is because clearly I don't want nobody else to, share my story. And lastly, you're saying, okay, I have a business and a brand, and what I want to do is gain more exposure and show that, hey, I'm an expert. So I want to encourage you that in the end, you have to start from somewhere. I stated to you earlier, I invested $1,000 with my first book, and my second book I invested $600. So that's a whopping $1,600. So the information that I'm giving you to start you is not even half that cost. It's actually $35. And what you're gonna get is information, and you're gonna get a workbook that you can take home to apply what I have taught you within a couple of hours so that you can begin to write your book. Because I believe in helping you become the best you and perfecting in writing. Understand that I have a total of, like I said, 5 books. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 in front of me that I can show, but 1 I'm missing. So I want to tell you that it did not happen overnight as far as becoming a best-selling author. You have to take the time. Share your story to help someone. Expand your brand. And most of all, leave that legacy so that the next generation, or when you go on to be with the Lord, that someone has something tangible where they can say, okay, I remember this, or I didn't know all of that. So it can help someone even when you're gone on to be with the Lord. So this is Motivational Mary, just giving you a little bit information about my webinar, which is going to be held on August the 3rd at noon, from noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like more information about this webinar, I urge you to please visit motivationalmary.com. I promise you the information that you're going to receive within a couple of hours is more beneficial to you, and you don't have to invest the $1,600, or you don't have to get caught up with the get rich scheme where you're going to actually be signed up with a publisher agent, and what they're going to wind up doing, in my case, what they're going to wind up doing, they're going to get your foot in the door, and you're going to actually get some of the tools you need. They're going to ask you for your manuscript, but what they're not going to do, they're not going to sit down with you and say, okay, well, this is what you need to do to make sure your manuscript is straight. This is what you need to do to make sure you have the perfect title. This is what you need to do to brainstorm, to get ideas. This is what you need to do to be disciplined, to get more material. No, they're going to take your manuscript, and what they're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to take your manuscript and they are going to process that. It's not going to really go through, it's not going to go through an editing stage unless that's something else you have to pay for, unless it's included in your package. Okay, what they're going to do is they're going to run it through a review to make sure there's no defamation. Okay, make sure there's no defamation or plagiarism in your manuscript. Other than that, your manuscript is on you. So why not take the time, 2 hours, take the time to learn more about how to really write your book. Understand that writing your book is your voice. Don't allow someone to change your voice, because sometimes you're going to run across editors and they may suggest something, but everything is within your control. So this is Motivational Mary, encouraging you to enrich, empower, and educate our next generation. But most of all, invest in yourself, invest in your business. Be blessed.